But the dream of delegating and outsourcing that I think gets pitched a lot in the startup world, or at least in the 4-Hour Workweek world, has not played out for us. Like, our editor got so much better when there was a manager working with him.
And when we were, it was a pass down the lane. We were working super closely with Ivan, who was working super closely with Andre.
Yeah, and now they're great. Now they don't need us involved at all, but there's training. And I think the same thing, we thought that hiring a writer, you just find a writer. Now I'm of the opinion that anyone who writes for Charisma on Command is going to have been trained for a year plus before they can really do it. I think I had that dream from the 4-Hour Workweek. It's like, oh yeah, you just eliminate, automate, delegate, and it's tough. You got to train really if you want good work. Is my experience. I'm sure other people disagree. I have a question
for our work week. So I was reflecting on this as I read this copy, and it made me think of the 4-Hour Workweek, because the 4-Hour Workweek, one of my favorite books, undersells how difficult it is. It's not actually a 4-hour workweek. It takes a lot of time to get there, and he paints this super compelling dream that just made me jump out of my seat and start.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wouldn't market that way, but I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
But that's not good enough for me to justify doing it.
So this was my question.
We would be more pissed at Tim Ferriss if he was selling some guru course. But he never did.
I guess here's the thing. It was a $9 book. Yeah. And so for him to make the dreams, all the work that came after that sound easy. Oh, here's the difference. There's no sales page for the 4-Hour Workweek. The 4-Hour Workweek is a sales page to work. You know what I mean? It's a sales page to pay other people to help you and do other things. It's not he's not selling the 4-Hour Workweek to sell you his how to build a business course.
Yeah, he enriches himself by selling the book, but he doesn't enrich himself by getting you to become an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
He has not gotten.
So I think for that reason, it works and is clean.
Well, I do actually think, while that is true, I do think it is still the case that book does, I think, undersell how hard it is.
Yeah, by a fat margin.
And so the question is, when is that acceptable, if ever?
Let's ask a question here. How many people have read that book, got it into their head that it should be easy, and are out there taking shortcuts?
Or it's hard and they quit. I think that's the most actually it's shortcut. You can't really shortcut.
There's a lot of people who are out there like, oh, it should be easy, so I'm going to scam people because that's easier.
Sure.
So that happens.
My impression from talking to people in our audience is that the most common thing seems to be like, I started and it was hard.
Yeah.
So I don't do it anymore.
I've met people who did that, and I've met people who were like, oh, this is supposed to be easy, so they seek out the other people who are saying and reinforcing this should be easy, and then they go down these paths where it's like, here's how it's easy. You do these things.
You become a coach that coaches coaches on how to coach coaches.
I guess if I think about it this way, I have now done this. Would I write a book saying it's really easy? I don't think so.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't write the 4-hour. I'm personally, as Ben Altman, glad that book was written in that way. Because I don't think I necessarily would have.
If he described what it was going to require, it would have been less exciting.
Yeah. I mean, he still could have gotten me, hey, listen, you're going to work a lot. You're not going to make a lot of money for the first couple of years, but you will get to live in Brazil on the beach. Like, I still would have signed up for it, I think. But I do think it's just written in the most compelling way possible. It's going to be easy and effortless. And and I'm glad. I appreciate that as Ben Altman, but I don't think that Charisma on Command should adopt that mindset.
To defend him, he doesn't say easy and effortless, I don't think, at any point. What he does is just kind of skip over. Like, he's like, you put up a Google ad and you sell this product. And like, this product sells and now you're making $10. It's like, your first product doesn't work. Sorry, ever.
No,
Google ads
I don't want to go
work.
bad on Tim at all. I think it's great. But no, I'm sure he says, and then you write a sales page that converts. And then you get sales. It's like, well, that's a 4-month process.
It was like French striped shirts.
It's French striped shirts. French striped shirts. Your Muse business.
Drop ship them.
And
then you do like 10 minutes of preliminary research about drop shipping. You realize, hey, the margins on this are 0.
He does actually say that he's never worked a 4-hour work week. You know, he is quick to say, I think that the title's a bit of hyperbole, and he always has worked more than that.
There's a tremendous, I guess what I'm struggling with is personally, and you raised the question of, am I the outlier? Is the world worse off for having had him talk not as directly to the trials and tribulations that are very, very common in entrepreneurship?
We do talk about the different gurus. I won't go bad on anyone, but there's a lot of people who teach that type of stuff. And when you meet successful entrepreneurs, they never say, oh, well, if not for blank, I would never have been successful. I can think of a couple people where I've literally heard it once in my life from all the people I've met. Tim Ferriss has actually inspired a solid amount of people I know who are successful. So he does have that anecdotal thing going for him in my mind, which is that when I meet people who are doing well, they're often like, oh yeah, Tim Ferriss inspired me. And they're doing it. Whereas the people who have failed or are scamming people, they tend to point to other gurus.
Yeah, and I think, to Tim's credit, he didn't say the way you get successful is this method I have over here, pay me. Mm-hmm. He just, he basically laid out like, this is the framework.
Yeah.
But I do think he glossed over just how difficult it is.
Hey, maybe it was easier in 2007 when he wrote it.
Yeah.
Maybe drop shipping was actually much easier 14 years ago.
I actually think the Google ad thing worked. I think the Google ad thing used to work.
Yeah, there were things that worked. Like I remember 2013, if you want to start a podcast, guaranteed you were on iTunes New and Noteworthy for 8 weeks.
Wow.
8 weeks on at least the New and Noteworthy for your subcategory.
Yeah.
Now, nope.
No, I want to give him credit for that too. Before Amazon FBA and all that stuff, if you were bringing in something from China through drop shipping, it might have been easy and profitable. This is 14 years ago that he wrote it. So maybe things got harder.
So there's always like pockets of opportunity that are open for a while. And then you publicize this kind of stuff and the competition increases and then it closes.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there are other things that exist today, like TikTok and YouTube algorithms didn't really exist back then.
Yeah.
So
now you growing on TikTok is
overnight.
ridiculous. Growing on TikTok is, especially 6 months or a year ago, was so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Is PTYI still going to be open?
No, it closed.
Oh, okay,
closed.
never mind.
You can finish it. We were.
Well, I was going to say we were promoting Ali Abdal's course on how to make a YouTube channel. So if people actually were interested in that, we'll promote it again in 3 months when it opens.
Wait list.
I think isn't there like a self-paced one you could always get?
I don't know.
I'm
not sure. I was looking at the sales page a while ago, studying it. I think that's the best. Like that's the best education you're ever going to get is
studying
hyper analyze what people are doing.
Yeah.
Not what they tell you to do.
That's what we base our business on.
Like I guess there's two of it, right? Because like I can hyper analyze what an Olympic figure skater does, and there's stuff that they're just doing it too fast. I need to go to a coach and have her tell me, bring your freaking knee in, otherwise you can't spin. And like I wouldn't be able to see that on TV. But there is a lot of you need to actually observe what the pros are doing.
People actually do it and slow it for surfing. People just slow it down. People will get Telly Slater popping up and they'll be like, okay, we're going to watch this at 0.2 speed. Yep. And I'm going to show you exactly what he does that you don't do. And it is helpful. I mean, at least helpful. In my experience, that's been helpful.
Yeah, I think that's good. With physical things, a lot of times you want a coach looking at what you're doing specifically, because at least in my case, like with figure skating, with singing, there will be things I'm doing I can't even tell that I'm doing them until a coach is like, singing here, I took a video. You're doing this. Bring the leg in. Or you're really nasally and you don't sound the same to yourself in your head as you do in real life. So you can't really tell like, oh, I should be bringing the voice back down into the throat and making it more full until you have somebody tell you.
Do you like the way you sound on camera when you shoot your videos?
The way I sound on camera?
Yeah, because you said your voice sounds different in your head versus...
Oh, I think I sound fine on camera. Yeah, I've never been embarrassed of my voice on camera. I've been embarrassed of my singing voice. 3 years of vocal lessons will help that a lot.
So I did singing lessons for a long time. Singing is crazy. I can't think of anything else in the world that a 5-year-old can do much better than most 40-year-olds. And they just come out perfect, like just brilliant singers. Nor can I think of anything that I've worked as hard at singing and made as little progress. And I've had very good coaches, and I know that are like, wait, shouldn't you be better? They work with famous people and they help them and they do better. Yeah. I've made limited improvements with singing.
My experience with singing, like I've gotten to the point where I'm okay with my voice, and I do have one song I produced that sounds pretty good. It's almost like there's a threshold. Like say you're starting to lift and you're squatting, and right now you squat 150 pounds. 300 pounds is the point at which you will think, I sound okay.
Yeah. It's far away.
So it's years of just, far away. You need to put 150 pounds on your squat just to be like, cool, I sound okay. And I feel like I finally, just in the last maybe 6 months, got to that point. And now I'm to the point where it's like, I have the base and now I can sculpt it to sound just a little bit better in the dimensions that I'm interested in.
Can you summarize or briefly, because what I think the biggest thing that has helped or could help, if I haven't worked as hard at it, is actually ear training. To me, it's the feedback loop not being perfect is, I think, what has gotten in my way the most. So I'll sing a song, and the best people that I've had, they've let me sing and get away with it. But just so you know, you're not you're not hitting some of these notes. You're like hitting the high note and you're hitting the one in between. But all these like little words in between, you're just kind of fudging on your way to somewhere else.
So you're saying your coach does tell you that or doesn't?
They, I think, strike a good balance of like not being militant about it and letting me sing a little. And also stop. Yeah, not that.
Yeah.
But pointing out like this, this will come. But I thought I was like, oh, this is the big note that I have to get. And I was like, I'm hitting that. Fine. It's just all the ones in between that seem unimportant.
And you rush to it, and then it all sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I've done a few things that help. So working with my coach, he'll let me sing a whole section, and then we'll critique it. We've done another thing where I asked him like, hey, can you basically become a reaction YouTuber for me? So I sent him a recording, and I'm like, use Loom to listen to this on your computer and then pause and just tell me what you think at each point. Yeah. So he just sends me back like a Loom video of him critiquing and reacting to my singing. That's really nice. And then one thing I do is I have a little VST called Nectar that Isotope makes, and it comes with a pitch corrector. It's basically just a suite of vocal enhancement tools. So I will sing, and then I'll throw Nectar on, and I'll figure out the key of the song. You can Google it almost every time. And I'll just throw on the correction and be like, how different does it sound?
That's smart, because what that eliminates mostly is, how am I pitchy? Yes. And if you're like, hey, it sounds good when I'm not pitchy, it's like, cool, we know what I have to work on. Or it's like, no, I nailed it, and it still sounds awkward. It's like, no, then it's my tone. Like something awkward there. That's smart.
I also have a kind of unfair advantage. My fiance has like annoyingly good pitch detection.
Yeah.
I don't have it. Like I can be a little bit off key, and
I hate people that have that.
So I'll be singing in the shower or something, and then she's like, dear, you sound pretty good, but you're a little bit flat today. And that just tells me, okay, I just need to just reach a little bit.
It's wild that little kids come with that in a way that I couldn't hit if I practiced for 10 years. Like I said, I can't think of anything else that is so inborn or possibly inborn, but not guaranteed inborn.
I don't think it's as inborn as people think, though. Like I do think there is a lot of natural talent variation between singing, between people for singing, but I also think that there's a lot more you can do with your voice than most people think. And it's a super long-term thing. So think about how many years you've spent talking into a microphone trying to sound good just for your videos. Because I did that as well. Like I started podcasting in 2013. So it was like 2013 to 2017, 4 straight years of, trying to sound good into a microphone for podcasts and videos. That was actually a foundation that made it easier for me to start singing.
Interesting.
So I don't think of myself as being, a singer for 3-4 years. I think of myself as having been sculpting my voice for 8-10 years.
Well, in that case, I'm even worse than I thought, because I spent a lot more time. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.